In today's video, we're going to be talking about lab tests that your doctor might be missing that can tell you a lot about your health. Lab tests can be a great way to see the areas in which your health is thriving or lacking. There are, of course, the standard tests doctors routinely run, such as fasting blood sugar and cholesterol, and while these tests can give us some indication of our overall health, they are only a small piece of a much larger picture. So in today's video, I'm going to give you 6 lab tests you might be missing that can tell you a lot about your health. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kate. I'm a health coach and I post videos on a high-fat, nutrient-dense way of eating. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, feel free to share, and make sure to subscribe. And make sure to follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook where I share new posts every single day. Today's video is sponsored by selfdecode. Selfdecode's lab shop allows you to take control of your health with simple and affordable health tests. Their at-home tests are shipped straight to your doorstep, and their online lab test analyzer gives you personalized recommendations based on your results. Head to healthcoachkate.com/lab shop to see the full range of tests available. So today's video is all about lab testing. And as I said at the start of this video, there are tests that doctors routinely run, but these are only a small piece of a larger picture. Fasting blood sugar is a good example of this. Yes, this test is a good way to identify prediabetes and diabetes. However, there is another test that can catch poor blood sugar regulation even sooner, and which can indicate that you are on the path towards prediabetes. And knowing this information can explain other symptoms you might be experiencing, such as difficulty losing weight, irregular periods, and skin tags. And we will get into what exactly that test is in today's video. But just before we begin, I quickly want to mention the tests we are going to talk about today are available on selfdecode's lab shop for those in the United States. And if you do decide to order a test from them, it's worth mentioning that selfdecode members save 50% off tests. So make sure to check out their membership packages. 𝗖𝗟𝗏𝗖𝗔. The first test we're going to talk about today is hemoglobin A1C, also known as 𝗏𝗼𝗏. This test estimates the amount of glucose in your blood over the past 3 months by looking at how much sugar, or glucose, is bound to your red blood cells. This test can give you a better understanding of your blood sugar control than a simple one-time fasting blood glucose test. Our fasting blood sugar can change from day to day and can be impacted by other factors besides diet. One night of poor sleep, for example, can mean your blood sugar is elevated for the entire next day. Whereas when you test 𝗏𝗼𝗏1c, you are getting an average over the past few months. A healthy reading is considered to be between 4.0 and 5.6%. 5.7 to 6.4% can signify prediabetes, and 6.5% can signify full-blown diabetes. Fasting insulin. Next up, we're going to talk about fasting insulin. Now, if you decide to only get one test from today's video, this is the one I would go with. Earlier in the video, I spoke about a test that can explain a lot of health complications, and this was the test I was referring to. Insulin is the hormone that is responsible for transporting excess glucose or sugar from our bloodstream to our cells. However, there is a condition known as insulin resistance, which is when our cells stop responding to insulin correctly. This leads to insulin levels being elevated for long periods of time and can cause several side effects such as skin tags, hormonal imbalances, and excess abdominal fat. It also precedes prediabetes and type 2 diabetes, and also increases your risk of heart disease and other diseases. So by identifying insulin resistance early, you can stop it before your fasting blood sugar becomes elevated. And this is why it isn't enough to test only fasting blood sugar, or even 𝗏𝗼𝗏1c, if you suspect you are insulin resistant. In the early stages, your blood sugar will be within what is considered to be the normal range. However, your insulin will be elevated. But unfortunately, doctors do not routinely test fasting insulin. And even if you ask for it, a lot of them are hesitant to run the test. Which is why it is great that selfdecode is making this test more accessible. And remember that members save 50%. What is considered to be normal fasting insulin varies between labs. Between 2 to 20 is usually the reference range. However, some experts do believe that less than 8 is optimal, with anything higher signifying some level of insulin resistance. HDL plus triglycerides. Now, I mentioned cholesterol panels at the start of the video as something that is routinely tested, but I think the problem is that when we get our cholesterol test, 99% of the time we are focusing on the wrong numbers. We are told the most important numbers are total cholesterol and LDL cholesterol. If either one of these numbers is too high, we are at an increased risk of disease. But the truth is that these numbers are not the best indicators of disease risk on our cholesterol panel. In fact, studies have shown that 75% of people who have heart attacks actually have what is considered to be normal LDL levels. In one study where they lowered LDL of some participants into a range considered optimal, after 3 years the total mortality was twice as high as compared to the group with higher LDL. There's a stronger association between low HDL and heart attack risk than high LDL. And the same goes for high triglycerides. Looking at the ratio between triglycerides and HDL is actually a really strong indicator of insulin resistance and disease risk. So triglycerides, you want to be lower, ideally less than 1.7 millimolars per liter. And HDL, you want to be higher, ideally over 1 millimolar per liter. TSH. Next up, we have thyroid stimulating hormone, or TSH. This is the main thyroid hormone that stimulates your thyroid gland to produce T3 and T4, which regulate your metabolism. High TSH levels can signify an underactive thyroid, and low TSH levels can signify an overactive thyroid, neither of which is ideal. If your TSH is high or low, this can be a sign of hypo or hyperthyroidism, Hashimoto's disease, or Graves' disease. Ideally, you want your TSH to be between 0.35 and 5.5. Now, before we get into the final two tests, I'm going to take a quick moment to tell you about today's sponsor, selfdecode. selfdecode is a genetics testing and analysis company that gives you personalized health recommendations based on your genes. But they also have a lab shop and a lab test analyzer feature, which is relevant to today's video. All of the lab tests we spoke about today and many more can be done through selfdecode. Tests can be ordered online, and depending on the test, samples can either be done in the comfort of your own home, or you will receive a referral to have blood drawn at a local clinic. Your results can then be analyzed online, and selfdecode will give you personalized recommendations based on your results. Or if you already have a lab test done, you can upload your results directly to their lab test analyzer feature and find out if you're within the optimal range. So often our lab test results are compared to standard reference ranges, and those reference ranges might not be applicable to you. selfdecode uses the latest peer-reviewed research to identify the optimal ranges for your personal test results, so you can lower your risk of disease. They are currently able to analyze over 500 lab markers, everything from cholesterol to nutrient levels, thyroid hormones, and more. And selfdecode members save 50% off lab tests, so it's worth checking out their membership packages. You can head to healthcoachkate.com/lab shop to check out the full range of tests available. Thank you again to selfdecode for sponsoring this video. Vitamin D. Next up, we have vitamin D levels. Vitamin D is actually a hormone that is created by the body when our skin is exposed directly to UVB rays from the sun. We can also get some vitamin D through our diets, but it is extremely difficult to get enough from diet alone. Every cell in our body has a receptor for vitamin D, signifying its importance. Low vitamin D levels can result in weak bones, hair loss, fatigue, depression, muscle aches, poor sleep, and a weak immune system. Vitamin D deficiency has also been associated with an increased heart disease risk. Deficiency is defined as less than 20 nanograms per milliliter and is fairly common in many Western and European countries. The optimal reference range varies, with many vitamin D researchers stating that levels above 75 are optimal, and many stating even higher. Vitamin B12. And finally, we have vitamin B12. I threw this one in here today because lately I've been getting a lot of comments from people who are vegan and vegetarian, who are wanting to try a low-carb diet. And honestly, I'm gonna have a whole video, I think, coming next week that's gonna talk about if it is possible to eat a low-carb diet when you're avoiding animal products. But I really wanted to highlight the importance of vitamin B12 in this video today, because there are other groups of people who are at risk of a B12 deficiency as well, including those who are obese, those who are heavy drinkers, those with gut disorders, and the elderly. B12 is important for proper nervous system and brain function, and also the development of red blood cells. Low vitamin B12 levels can result in fatigue, headaches, balance problems, a rapid heart rate, muscle soreness, and tingling and numbness. And this is not something to take lightly. Some of the damage caused by B12 deficiency cannot be undone. So especially if you are limiting animal products in your diet, please have your vitamin B12 levels tested. Even if you are supplementing, some people do not absorb these supplements very well. Anything below 200 is considered low, and anything between 200 and 950 is considered optimal. And those are the best lab tests that your doctor might be missing. So to recap, the tests we went over today include HbA1c, fasting insulin, HDL and triglycerides, TSH, vitamin D, and vitamin B12. And remember that all of these tests are available through selfdecode's lab shop. I will put the link in the description box down below along with my promo code. Let me know in the comment section down below which of these tests you didn't realize was so important. And if you did like the video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and click that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. If you like this video, you might also like my video on 6 ways to lower your triglycerides, which you can check out here. If you want to catch up on my most recent upload, you can find it here. And if you want to check out my keto diet and carnivore diet coaching programs, you can find them here. Thanks guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.